Hello, it's Denise from the Professional Food Styling series, video series. For some reason, I can't remember the name, so bear with me. But here's what we've got. In our food styling group, we get so many messages about business and rates and marketing and sales. So this is I have 10 points for you today. You can see I'm sitting in my office. I am doing business. And I thought I would go over them. These are for you to mull over, but it might be helpful. And I will say this, we're going to have another video coming up, which is just about sales, okay? Because I need to tell you something, food styling is all about sales. It's about your portfolio and how you close the sale. Okay, so that's what's coming up. But today, what we're talking about is this: marketing your food styling business. Number one, you need to market when you are busy. Okay, when people are working, and they're so happy and they've got money coming in and stuff, most people aren't marketing. Now, hopefully you have a passive marketing system by always having a web page, a beautiful web page. And on that web page, you're going to tell people who you are and what you do and really what you can do for them. So that's a passive sales technique. But an aggressive direct marketing, you've heard it before, sales technique is this: send people something. Now, it doesn't have to be in the mail. It could be, online. It could be over the internet. It can be to your contact list. But I would send people a hello. I would send people a recipe. I would send people a little synopsis of a really successful shoot you just had. I would send people something about what a great problem solver you are, okay? Because that's what you're always going to be doing for people, is solving their problems as a food stylist. Now, I know people call it snail mail. I hate that. I love the post office. I want them to succeed. But I need to share one thing with you. I still send out snail mail postcards sometimes, a recipe card. Okay, now I've styled the photograph. Cindy's photographed the photograph. We have go out and we get 100 from one of those online printing companies. They're not expensive. It's 100 pretty postcards that you pay very little money for, okay? And there is your work right there. It comes in the mail to someone. They can look at it. I would make it the best photograph I could. Something delicious, usually sweets, desserts, things that people want. On the back of that postcard, hi, how are you? Look forward to working with you again. Your pal, Denise. Maybe there's room for you to give them a copy of the recipe if you want to. Or maybe you're sneaky and say, oh, go to my website and download this recipe. Or email me and I'll send you the recipe. Now, why are you doing this? Keep in contact with your clients, okay? That's all it is. And I'm going to tell you this. This was from the greatest salesman in the world. He said, people wait until they're slow and they market. That's not when you market. You need to market when you're busy. Number two, always have a current professional headshot ready and available in a high resolution JPG file. You can see how familiar, that just rolled off my tongue. It's a JPEG. I know that. I'm not a moron. No, not your high school graduation picture. Now, let me tell you something. Time passes. So do you. So does your face. So does your hair color. Look at me. I'm the classic example of that. But if you have a web page, a website, whatever you've got going for you, you need a picture of yourself on it. Why do you want a picture of yourself on it? Because you want your clients to feel comfortable with you and familiar with you. And a picture of you, and especially you could be working and looking like, oh, I'm such a hard worker and so smart. You could be with the world's most famous cookbook author. That's not a bad one. okay? The association. You could be with, a photographer. You could be with one of your kids. People will say, oh, but when you're a picture of you with your child, is that professional? Well, if you're a mom, what's wrong with saying you're a mom too? I think that's a lovely inclusion. But I'd certainly have a current picture of yourself. People will feel more comfortable when you come to their business, to the set, to the photo studio. I tell you this, ACP, which I've been a member of for 25 years, people, all the authors would have pictures on their books from 20 years ago. And then you would meet them in the elevator at IACP and you didn't even recognize them because either the photo was so old or it was so retouched. I used to think to myself, I'm not afraid of how I look, okay, good or bad or indifferent. Show people that you're honest and have a picture of yourself that they can relate to. Number 3, print on both sides of your business card. Oh, I don't even have business cards anymore. They can just go to my website. Well, let me tell you this. You still need a business card. I don't care what age group you're in. I don't care who you're doing business with. And I'll tell you why. When you work on a set with 50 to 100 people, okay, big commercials, for those of you who've done it, there can be 100 people. You work on a show like Ellen or The Tonight Show that Cindy and I worked on 100 times. There are 300 people working on that show. Do you think all of them are going to contact me? No. But people on TV shows, people in photo studios, people at publishers don't stay in one place, okay? They're constantly moving, changing jobs. So if they have your business card, either they've taken the information or scanned it into their phone or however they're keeping your information, or they could be like, I know some of the most successful producers in the world have about 400 business cards with a rubber band around them, but that's how the system works for them. Business cards still have a place in our society. And when I go anywhere to speak, to talk, to find guests for my podcast, and I say to someone, give me a business card, and they said, I don't have one, out of my mind, okay, bye-bye. I'm not going to be able to relate to you. Include on your business card any social media for your business, of course, your Instagram, your Facebook, your TikTok, your Clubhouse handle. And some people, depending on where you work in the world, some people put it in a different, some of their name or their profession in a different language, okay? Do you have connections that you could work in Japan? I don't know, maybe you do, but I'd certainly be working your marketplace with that business card. Now you have to, number 4, set deadlines for yourself, be accountable. Now this works in everything in life, doesn't it? If you're always starting the diet the next day and then you don't start the diet, you're not accountable to yourself. That's all it is. And I'm speaking totally of me. I'm not pointing fingers out there because I don't know who's watching. Okay, is it you? No, I'm just saying this. If you put on your calendar at the beginning of every month, you say, call my last 3 clients, update my, then a week later, update my website with some beautiful pictures from the last project. 2 weeks from then, send out an email blast to all my clients, okay? Tell them what I've been doing. What do you want your clients to know? Everything about you, but you have to set deadlines for yourself. If you promise yourself that you'll do things and then you don't do it, inside, it starts to kill your own motivation, okay? This is not the speech for that. I can give you a whole thing on motivation, but because I've studied it and I know a lot about personal motivation, but I'll tell you this, be accountable to yourself. If you tell yourself you're going to market your business, do 2 things every week, 1 thing every month. I don't care what it is, but set deadlines, put it on your calendar so you have to. Number 5. Be a contributing writer to local online newspapers and magazines. Well, some of you came out of blogging. You already know this, which is brilliant. But if you say, well, I'm not a writer, then anybody can write 2 paragraphs. Okay, anybody can write 3 paragraphs. Anybody can write a page. Now, in all the local newspapers where they have cut back on food sections, will some of them take free a free piece that's well edited to put in their newspaper and run it? Of course they will. Depends where you live, okay? You don't know how. Content. Can you go to other people's blogs and websites and think, ooh, I would be a perfect fit for them to, I'll give them a good article and they'll print it for me, okay? So it'll blast out to other people. So you're creating content. Now everybody uses the word content creator. I love it. A content creator is a writer, okay? It's all the same thing. Now, number 6 rolls right into it. Publish your own newsletter. Okay, now here's something, and just so, I've had a newsletter for 25 years for my business. It has helped me get jobs. It has gotten me $10,000 projects. It's gotten me $50,000 projects, okay? Now, I've just always sent it out, okay, for free. And I did it to keep in touch with my clients, exactly what I'm talking about. And do you know, some of them, depending, and every month we pick, Cindy puts it all together. I write little bits and pieces. We use work that we've had before or a new photograph that we've done. But I get messages back from it that say things like, Denise, I took your class 10 years ago at, it's Central Market, and I saw that you have a new book, or I saw that you're doing a podcast, or I saw that you're starting video classes. Now, that's why I did it, okay? Now, what you have to investigate is, if you come up with a dynamite newsletter, there's new companies like Substack, and people are getting newsletter subscriptions, okay? So, that means somebody will pay to read your newsletter, okay? And if you know some of the great newsletters that are out there, David Leibovitz, who else? Smitten Kitten, Diane Jacobs. These people have been blogging and doing newsletters for, I don't know, 15, 20 years. All I know is people will pay for their newsletters, and rightly so. So that's something to think about. What can you tell people that would help them? Number 7, write press releases of your major jobs. Press release, I've written an article on this. We could always post it if you need it, but learn how to write a press release, and then you post in your LinkedIn, okay? Or if you belong to any business associations, LADOM, ICP, WCR, any of the food groups that I've been members of, if you send them in a press release, they'll put it in their newsletter and print it for you, okay? So you might all of a sudden have 5,000 or 6,000 people that didn't know what you do. Now they know what you do. A press release is easy. Keep it concise, keep it clean. And what are you telling them? How good you are, and why they should hire you. Okay, that's what all of marketing is supposed to do, and solving their problem. Send personal thank you notes or emails to clients after jobs. I've done this for years. Okay, then sometimes people call me up, they go, Denise, I haven't gotten a piece of mail in like a year. This was the loveliest thing, it was a thank you note. I said, I know, I have good manners. So I'm telling you this, and at Christmas, can you send your clients a little gift? Absolutely. Is that marketing? Yes, it's a write-off on your taxes. Cindy and I had a client list. One year we'd done 4 or 5 cookbooks, all of them celebrities. Now these are people that could buy and sell. There's nothing to buy people that have 4 homes and drive Rolls Royces and that kind of stuff. But you know what we did? We made fudge. It was one of the best Christmas presents we ever made. We made pound fudge bricks, put them in pretty little aluminum pans, mylar'd them up with that, you know, and a pretty bow. But here was the thing. We attached a fancy little knife, Murano glass knife that we bought at Pier 1. So it was like in the olden days in candy shops. Some of you don't know, you used to cut fudge right to the pieces that the size people wanted. And yes, I did arrive there on a donkey pulling my covered wagon, if any of you are mean out there and wondering just how old I am. But no, it was gorgeous. Do you know how those people wrote us notes? Oh, it was the most delicious fudge, but they said, oh, it reminded me of my grandmother. I haven't had fudge like this since I was a kid. They're rich people. They were so appreciative. Two things. One, I remembered them. Okay. We put some thought into a tiny gift. My company's name was all over it. Okay, so they couldn't forget it. Another business card in case they needed it. And it created goodwill for all of us. And I wouldn't think, I remember we made the fudge, and I don't think all of it, probably the postage was more expensive to send it. And then some years we've hand delivered things to clients if we could. And so a hungry office building, and you bring in two big gigantic bundt cakes, one's chocolate and one's vanilla, right before they have their coffee breaks. Are you kidding me? That secretary is going to remind her producer to hire you for the job. Okay. You are an expert in your profession, so you need to act like it, okay? You need to act like it. Become a guest speaker or a local lecturer at a city college, a high school, career services, junior colleges, career services. You call and you tell them that they should have you come there and speak to their classes. The Chamber of Commerce, women's groups, business groups. There's a business organization called SCORE that is retired people, but they love to have speakers, okay? Kiwanis, anything. If you've been in public relations, go speak to a room full of publicists. Those people hire food stylists. If you could get one of your newsletters into the union, to prop masters, that's who hires, okay, food stylists. So I'd definitely be an expert in my profession. And 10 was have a web page, which I touched on briefly. You need an outstanding, okay, when people put your name in, if they don't know your name and they say food stylist in Los Angeles and they go to your page, hopefully your page comes up. I used to pay for Google AdWords for years, okay, which brought me some great jobs. But you know, on that webpage, they've got to be able to have an email to reach you immediately, okay? How many of you have gone to web pages and the phone number is not on it? Because what? Some people want to call you. Some people don't want to email you. So you need all your vitals. I'd put them almost at the top of the web page before a beautiful banner of food. So, and at the bottom also, so people aren't searching. I also would monitor your web page hits, and you need to update it frequently. Okay, now, I can say this and people go, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time. Well, then I suggest you get out there, beat the bush, get more jobs, and pay someone to help you do it, okay? If you don't have time to do your marketing, I suggest, is there a barter system you could work out? Absolutely. Are there things you could do? But all I'm saying is by not marketing, your business can't grow. Okay, so that was it. I think I'm done. Now, if anyone has any questions, of course, they can email me or Cindy. You can go to we have updated our food styling workshop.com because we needed an easy button for people to push to come to our video online series. I know we had not looked at that food styling workshop page for a while, and it still performed, meaning we still were getting so many so many international students that want to take food styling classes. And with the quarantine, with the epidemic, they haven't been able to. So that's why we're having online classes, and it could help many people. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much. And I wish you the best of luck, and do write when you get work. Bye-bye.